hi. If you have joined in just now and you're like, oh, wow, look, Jen is live. She's probably going to do some art. No. Look at the category we're in. There's no art happening. There is only why happening. I totally understand if you want to give this stream a miss today. But I will be going through why there's no art happening right now. So if you're curious about...
My name's Tim, my marketing's god fucking awful.
Okay. If you are...
This is an unmissable experience.
If you're curious about why shit's not happening right now and you want to know why... What is the latest fucking trash fire... then, stick around. If I start yapping too much, then I have a husband in the background with a law degree who can tell me to shut the fuck up. So that's good. Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I haven't even started.
I'd like to clarify before the stream begins that if she mentions any brand name, company name, or private individual, she doesn't mean that one, she means a different one. She definitely doesn't mean you, whoever you are, in advance. Please take all names Jen says as meaning something else.
Now, with that legal advice out of the way.
Jen has several small kittens. She has named all of them after companies, products, brand names, and private individuals. She means the kittens.
Meow. Hi. So, I don't know if this is actually gonna make it into like an edited video. Probably not. I haven't slept and I am full of hay fever, so this is probably not gonna make it onto YouTube. So, hi. I was supposed to do a certain part 2 of a certain video, and you may be wondering why that hasn't happened yet. That's because things over here are continuing to be ongoing. So I'm just kind of sitting here stewing in my own stress. So I thought that I would pop live here just because I have been tagged in a certain thing. And I thought it would be nice to go through it with you. Boop, 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 boop. What's the BBC tune? Beep, doop, beep, doop. I have been doing stuff on Patreon for probably a decade, I think. Yeah. But because of certain things that happened with Patreon, I decided that I was going to start doing my own website, which is what this is. These are my website subscribers. It's my Patreon alternative. It's a good time. There is other stuff going on with that. We don't have time for that right now. So, with Patreon, just to clarify, I still have a Patreon. I'm still uploading everything onto my Patreon. When I say everything, I don't mean everything. Some of the other stuff you can only get on my studio. Before I show you this, I should probably tell you very quickly that I did a video on YouTube where I basically went, wow, Patreon destroyed my fucking income. What do we do now? Which went through how I have been getting paid per page for like years and years and years, and that's been my stable income. But then Patreon was like, nah, we're gonna remove that. I've been checked out of Patreon ever since. I'm uploading the pages whenever I need to, but other than that, all of my actual passion and, love and attention goes towards my own studio. And will continue to do so, even though we have this. A couple of days ago, I'm just going to read this out to you. Huge news on Patreon. Because of the Apple versus Epic ruling, they are not only dropping the 30% Apple Store charge on the iOS app, they are also halting the move to subscription billing for all creators, which would have affected creators like me who use a per video structure rather than monthly. Remember, I use per page. This is from Patreon themselves. What yesterday's US court ruling against Apple means for Patreon creators. Yesterday, a US court ruled in the Epic versus Apple case that Apple is no longer allowed to collect fees on purchases made outside of the App Store. This is a huge victory for creators and fans. The Patreon iOS app is the #1 platform for fan engagement on Patreon. Oh, oof. And we believe this ruling allows creators to get paid without Apple taking 30% of all in-app payments. We know many creators may have had questions about how this ruling will impact your Patreon communities and how you use the Patreon iOS app. I don't. We've been working urgently to understand what this ruling means and how to take action to ensure that you and your fans benefit as much as possible. Here's the latest. Boop, 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 boop. You know, there's nothing I love more than being messed around with like this. It's like, I love it. It's so fun. You just want to sit there, make your comic books, and then you get emails out of the blue that go, by the way, fuck you. It's a good job you're no longer trusting or trying to rely on Patreon anymore anyway. Right, Jen? Uh-huh. Can you imagine if I didn't have my own website studio sorted at this point and this was happening? I would be a fucking wreck. I mean, I'm already a wreck because of other reasons, but like, this would have just been so fucking stressful. Let's continue. We're already working to update the Patreon iOS app to avoid Apple's fees. As a first step, we are submitting an update to the Patreon iOS app in Apple's App Store immediately to include an option for fans to use an alternative payment method to Apple's in-app purchasing system. Once approved by Apple, this update would mean that new members in the US who make purchases in the Patreon... Oh, just in the US. Okay. Who make purchases in the Patreon iOS app will be able to choose a checkout option, but that does not include Apple's 30% fee. Note, this pending app update, once approved and released in Apple's App Store, will provide alternative checkout options for US-based fans signing up for new memberships. At this time, this only applies for creators on subscription billing, as legacy first of the month and per creation billing models are still unable to accept new membership sign-ups to iOS. Right. What they are saying is that literally, even at this point, if someone were to try to sign up to my Patreon on an iOS app thing, they would still not be able to, because I am per creation billing. Yeah? It's like HR department sending out termination emails as an April Fool's joke and then going, how'd y'all going, huh? Eyebrow wiggle. Right. So, if you saw the other video where I was saying, well, there's a Patreon decimation happening for me and other creators like me in November, looks like they have now put that on hold. Notice the wording here, chat. The November 2025 subscription billing transition deadline is now on hold. Has not been removed, cancelled, completely revoked or whatever. It's on hold. So don't you be jumping on their dicks just yet, okay? Don't trust this. I mean, you do whatever you want, but I am very jaded. I don't trust this. This is still a developing situation, but we are moving forward under the assumption that the November 2025 deadline for all Patreon creators to switch to subscription billing is no longer necessary. While additional information may come that alters Apple's requirement for Patreon's iOS app, we are optimistic that this ruling will give us additional flexibility in how we support creators on legacy billing models. So I am part of the legacy billing models, because I'm one of the old ones, one of the old gods. However...
Is that why you're slowly driving me fucking insane?
Yes! However, for now, creators still need to be on subscription billing to be able to accept payments through the Patreon iOS app. For those who still want to proceed with switching to subscription billing, our team is happy to assist with the transition, since it still unlocks access for the latest growth tools on Patreon. Growth tools. We fucking love growth. Like gifting, autopilot. What is autopilot? That sounds like AI and it makes me uncomfortable. It probably isn't, but again, I'm just so... I just don't fucking trust anything anymore. And tier repricing. For creators on per creation billing, who are actively working with our support team to transition to subscription billing, that's not me, our team will be in contact with you by the end of the day tomorrow, May 2nd, with next steps to confirm how you'd like to proceed. Well, I don't want to proceed. I just want to be left alone so I can do my job. That would be great. Where we go from here? When we first announced rolling out Patreon's in-app purchasing requirements last year, we shared that we used 3 principles to guide our decision in how we planned to move forward: transparency, control, and stability. Hold on. In keeping with these principles, we'll continue actively working to learn more, and we will communicate frequently and transparently as we go. This ruling is a huge moment for creators and fans, and we will continue fighting for a future where creators are in control. Yes. So, how about them tits then? Which kind of tits are okay? Which ones aren't? Anyway, we're not talking about that right now. Communities thrive, and professional creativity is possible for all. As long as it's a certain type of creativity that's not deemed risky or obscene or, you know, I guess too gay.
Fuck the Tories.
That's so funny when we go through like, we will fight for a future where creators are in control and professional creativity is possible for all. And immediately a message gets censored because it has a cuss word in it. That's so fucking funny.
It's a different company.
I know, but it's just like the general vibe of being on the internet. It's just like, we want you all to be creative. No, not like that. Why are you swearing? Yeah. What gender are you? I don't understand. Oh my god, Helen. You are all free to express yourselves however we want. Like, all of this stuff only feels like fluff to me. Because if you have been forced to sit and read through terms of service as much as I have, then you don't trust this shit anymore. This is just corpo speak.
Jen, it wasn't terms of service, it was a prenup.
It was a prenup? Fuck's sake. Talking of terms and service, this art installation visualizing them is brilliant. Artist visualizes the lengthy terms of service agreements of popular social media apps. Fucking hell. This is literally like the visual equivalent of what you said. You're all free to express yourselves however we want. Instagram. So Instagram is the longest one. Oh, silly Jen, you can always express yourself as long as you don't say any of these words, rolls out a 40-foot long scroll of infernal scribblings. Oh my god. I was just talking to husband the other day about how you're literally having to censor how you speak. I mean, we've been doing this forever on the internet, and like censor how you write things. This has got stuff to do with my current situation with my studio, which I can't go into detail with you about. But in short, I am currently in talks with another processor. Let's just say that if I go for this other processor, it's kind of like, how do I say? It's like a step up in costs for me. Nothing for you. You'll still get the same deal, and you'll
you'll get a better deal.
You'll get a better deal, apparently.
Higher quality service.
You will get a higher quality service. I will have to take a bit of a hit.
That's right. Jen's investing in you.
I am investing in you, chat. Yes, but
when Jen was taking this step, she considered the ideas of stability.
Or what's the other one? Communication or whatever. Respect. I sure did. Comic books aren't really happening right now. Oh, and I haven't even told you about this either. I'm going back to Sweden to do granny research. So, in case you don't know, that means I am reading about family trauma, religious trauma, and war crimes. And I am not really ready for that right now. So if I am a fucking mess, that's why. Granny research ? Yeah, so I'm also doing I'm doing research for a graphic novel about my grandmother's life in northern Sweden during World War II.
For clarity, she was not a war criminal.
For clarity, my grandmother was not a war criminal. She was basically helping refugee children, and then she had interesting experiences being a woman up north. And that is all I can say right now. So, what am I planning to do now that Patreon has apparently backtracked on what they were saying before? This may come as a surprise to you or not, But I'm not going to do anything about it. I am not going back to Patreon to give them more of my like attention. I still have a Patreon, and I will still keep posting my comic book pages there as usual. But as I said, all of my love and attention is going towards my own website long term. If you want to see all of what I've got to offer in terms of art, that's where you want to be. But if you just want to like support me, and Patreon is the easiest way for you to do that, then obviously chuck money at me at Patreon. I really appreciate it. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna change anything or go back to Patreon and like abandon my studio or anything like that. Like, I'm sticking to this, because this right here is my long-term home on the internet. Okay,
all of us together, that's for life. It's a real bond. It doesn't matter about Patreon. Jen has you in her studio because of the real love between us. As a family, community.
No.
A series of peers.
No, this is so parasocial.
Socializing together on an equal level.
Oh my god.
Reach toward the screen. Jen, reach toward the camera. Feel your hand touching her hand. Because this is real. And you know what happens when you see a real hand? You put your money in it.
Our hands touched. Oh my fucking god. Once I know more, my members and my people on the Discord, and also I keep yapping over on Mastodon, they all get to know everything. So if you are curious about the current ongoing trash fire, then you can you know join us in any of those places. And then
Jen keeps yapping as long as your credit card keeps tapping.
I'll see you guys later, okay? I'll be rooting for you, Jen. You deserve nothing but the best. It's a shame that payment providers are giving you less than the worst, which is impressive, but horrendous. Thank you, Cinemas. Yeah. The horrors persist, but so do I.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Are you fucking kidding me?
You look, Jenny.
No space!
Jenny, the house is on fire.
Cover up the balls! This is a Christian stream. Growth.